Here are 10 times we remember Homer and Marge are still in love. Homer leaves Marge because he found out she's secretly been resenting him for years. 3 Gays of the Condo starts with Homer finding a note Marge wrote 10 years ago about how he ruined her night, and if she knew he was such an alcoholic, she never would have started dating him.
Why did she stay with me if she hated me so much?
Wait for it, wait for it.
She was pregnant with Bart, and that's the reason she stayed with me.
Damn, that must be awful to know. Marge walked into the room and Homer confronted her about it, and she told him that it was a long time ago and she doesn't feel that way anymore. But she tells him that he still does a lot of things that drive her crazy.
So you mean our whole marriage you've just been resenting me behind my back?
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, every marriage has its problems. Homer decides to pack up and leave for a while, which makes Bart and Lisa panicky.
Kids, sometimes when a daddy learns that a mommy always hated him, he needs some time away to think.
Why do you let your kids in on your business? They don't need to know that. Homer sees an ad looking for a roommate and he goes to check it out. The apartment is in a nice gay neighborhood, which he doesn't get, of course.
Are you trying to tell me that you guys are those guys that like guys?
That's right, Homer. We're gay.
Come on, Homer, these aren't the first gays you've ever met. Homer decides to live with them nonetheless, but things with him and Marge aren't getting any better. Lisa tells Marge that she knows Homer loves her, but he is really hurt, and she should just apologize.
Marriage is a beautiful thing, but it's also a constant battle for moral superiority.
And that's why you can't apologize? Bart tells Marge that she should just say she's sorry, even if she doesn't mean it, so this makes her think. The next day, Marge showed up in front of Homer's apartment with a performer who sang a song for him.
It would take a man of stone with a funny bone of steel to resist that.
Aw, that's very sweet. Homer and Marge decide to go on a date and smooth things over, but before he was supposed to leave, he got drunk with the gays and was running late.
Congratulations to Marge and Homer Simpson on their reconciliation dinner.
She couldn't be more embarrassed. Homer showed up and apologized for being late, but he was visibly drunk out of his mind.
I tried to save our marriage, and you just get drunk and spend the whole night with your homosexual boyfriends.
And she said that in front of everyone. Homer went to Moe's, and as he was telling Moe that all his problems in life stem from alcohol.
Yeah. Take your medicine, yeah, lush, yeah.
I think Moe and Milhouse should hang out, because they're running close in their battle for worst friend ever. Moe took Homer to the hospital because he got alcohol poisoning from how much he drank, and Dr. Hibbert pumped his stomach.
But it's still not as bad as the first time I treated you.
Oh yeah, the night that destroyed my marriage.
Dr. Hibbert seemed confused because he'd never seen a woman so devoted to her man, so he showed him a tape he had.
Whatever problems we have a lifetime to work them out. Together.
See, she didn't hate him. Marge came into the room as Homer was saying that she married him because she loved him and not because she was pregnant.
Marge, I never want to be apart from you again.
Well, you'll never have to.
But maybe that closeness made them feel oversaturated. Homer and Marge hit a dry spot in their marriage, so they try to revive it. Natural Born Kissers opens with Marge and Homer on their anniversary night, but they just can't seem to get it on.
Did you want me to?
Oh, no, I'm the guy. I'm supposed to,
No, I have my part in this too.
Wow, that's awkward. The next day, Homer and Marge had to go and get a part for the fridge because it broke down, and as they were driving and contemplating their marriage, they heard an ad on the radio.
Remember the last time you felt the thrill of romance? Well, maybe you need a divorce.
What kind of ad is this? They get stuck in mud, so they get out of the car to find some help, but it starts raining. They run to a barn to hide from the rain.
Safe at last.
Shh, we're trespassing. Some of these farmers have pitchforks.
I think pitchforks should be the least of your problems. A farmer barges in because he saw the barn door open, but as he didn't see anyone, he left.
That was close.
Very close.
Oh, so being exposed is what does the trick. Marge and Homer think that the problem is their mundane life, so they book a room at a bed and breakfast.
Should we get started?
No time like the present.
So what's stopping you? They start thinking of things wrong with the room to try and avoid talking about the real problem, but then a lady walks in on them.
You know, the fear of getting caught is kind of a turn-on.
If their sex life is like this now, I don't want to imagine what they were doing in the beginning. Perverts. Homer says he has a disgusting idea, and they go out.
Shh! They'll hear us.
They didn't hear us in the sewing room.
Homer! It really is a disgusting idea. When they came back home, they were all over each other, and Bart and Lisa told them that they were sick.
You don't think there's anything wrong with what we're doing, do you?
Homer says that he thinks he's never done anything wrong. Homer, that might be a problem. They decide to revisit a place at a mini-golf course they used to make out at, but the crucial difference is that they visited it during the day, while children were playing. The Flanderses were playing, and their ball didn't come out, so...
Rod, You got small girlish hands. Reach in and fish it out.
A hand.
No, Rod, don't do it. People start gathering and trying to fish out the ball, but they keep squishing Homer. And I just find this highly disturbing.
Why are people always trying to kill me?
We have to get out of here.
They tip the windmill over and run out butt naked.
People soiled our green.
And now they're out there somewhere, naked as the day God made them.
Well then, maybe you shouldn't have a problem with that. The police start looking for Homer and Marge, who got into a hot air balloon in order to escape.
Maybe we should give ourselves up.
But think of the scandal.
So a better solution is to fly in a hot air balloon so more people could see. Homer falls out, but he holds onto a rope, so Marge is now navigating the balloon herself.
Dear Lord, look at that blimp! He's hanging from a balloon! Marge, can we not land here?
Homer, I think everybody has already seen your business. The whole stadium looks at them and starts taking pictures. They end up in the newspaper, and they now have to explain this to Bart and Lisa. Marge starts trying to explain to them how they got bored of their regular life, so they had to explore new ways, scary ways.
People staring at our naked bodies.
All those eyes just leering.
Are they getting in the mood?
Who's in the mood for miniature golf?
Ooh, I am.
Not again. Have you learned nothing?
Huh. They're gonna feel so silly when they realize they forgot us.
No, Bart, I think you're gonna feel silly when you realize they didn't. And this wasn't the last time they left the kids behind in order to have some fun. Homer and Marge decide to take a secret vacation to get away from their kids for a while. Catch 'em If You Can starts with Marge and Homer at an airport talking about how they can't do anything alone because kids are always there to stop them and ruin their fun. They were supposed to go to a relative's birthday party in Ohio, but when they saw the young married couples boarding the plane to Miami, they decided to change their plane tickets and go there instead, without telling anyone. But they didn't know that Ohio had been struck by a tornado, which Bart and Lisa saw on TV.
I'm an orphan.
I'm a legal guardian.
Honestly, I'm more worried about Grandpa. Marge calls Lisa to check in, and Lisa asks them if they're okay.
So, how's the weather in Dayton?
Oh, you know, typical boring Dayton weather.
They're busted. Lisa tells Bart that something's fishy, and they're not in Ohio, so Bart calls the number Marge called from, and they find out the two of them are in Miami.
Here's to life without children.
Well, we can't wait to have kids.
Yeah, you won't be saying that in a couple years. The guy says that with all new equipment, having children is really easy work.
You keep thinking that.
Bart and Lisa go to Miami, and they start looking for Homer and Marge.
A romantic holiday just became a stinking family vacation.
Marge, I won't let that happen.
Well, you wanted them, didn't you? I mean, at least some of them. Homer tells Marge that if they don't take this chance now, they'll be alone when Lisa goes to college.
I've got a card that can take us anywhere in the world.
How did he get that? Bart and Lisa see Homer and Marge getting into a cab and speeding off, but they won't let them get off that easy.
We're gonna follow them across this great land, making sure they don't have one moment of fun.
Bart says he has a card that will take them anywhere they want to go. Why does Rod have a card? They find out that Homer and Marge went to Atlantic City, so they follow them there, and they chase them around the country, Catch Me If You Can style. Finally, Homer and Marge get some alone time when Bart and Lisa jump out of the food cart.
We lied so we could spend a single night as a married couple without worrying about you kids.
They have given up. Marge tells them they've won, so tomorrow they'll be going back to Springfield.
All I wanted was a second honeymoon. And now the floor is made of lava.
They seem so defeated. Later, Bart and Lisa were talking, and they realized that maybe they should have given Homer and Marge a break. They decide to spend the day at an amusement park so Homer and Marge could have some alone time, but they didn't know that.
I knew if we got up early enough, we could sneak away from Bart and Lisa. Kids don't beat me. I beat kids.
Use a better phrasing next time, please. They see Bart and Lisa behind them at the Ferris wheel, and they start running away before the kids could explain the situation. They hide in an out-of-order bouncing castle, which bounced off of a cliff when they got in.
So why do they call this place Niagara Falls anyway?
What do you think, Homer? Homer just accepts their inevitable death and says,
Marge, I guess we'll just have to make love in heaven. I bet it always works up there.
Marge tells Homer to shut up and kiss her. Are they really gonna do it while falling down a waterfall?
Is anyone alive?
More alive than any of you squares.
Yes, they are. I guess it turned out good that the kids followed them. But Homer and Marge just can't catch. Now, Homer starts his own biker gang, which enrages another gang, and they abduct Marge. Take my wife, sleaze. opens with Homer winning a motorcycle and forming his own motorcycle gang with Moe, Lenny, Carl, and Ned. He comes up with the name Hell's Satans, which Ned had some problems with, but he was outnumbered.
I'm watching you, punks.
Can't hassle us, pig.
Don't act like you're not neighbors and friends. Seems pretty pathetic. Later, Homer was showing Marge the photos they printed of the gang.
You took a picture of me when I was asleep?
If you'd been awake, you would have said no.
And what does that tell you, Homer? But as they were fighting, another motorcycle gang broke into their house and said they're the Hell's Satans from another town.
You stole our club name.
According to our bylaws, we gotta stump you.
Well, Homer, that's what you get for not listening to Flanders. They told Homer he now has to eat his gang jacket. The gangsters crash in their house and Homer tries to call the police, but...
Forget it, Simpson. Those pig noises you made really hurt my feelings.
Really? You won't do your job because he hurt your feelings? Marge tried to get the gangsters to stop making such a mess in the kitchen, and she said that if they wanted some food, they should just ask her. She made them food and cleaned their clothes, and they really appreciated that. Homer's had enough, and he went to tell them that they need to leave. But when he walked in, he saw they were already gone. But what he didn't notice is that someone was missing.
Dad, there's a note on the back of your head.
Really? Read it.
He didn't feel it when someone stabbed him with a pin. The note said that they had a nice time at Homer's pad and...
P.S. We've taken your old lady.
Yeah, how does it feel when a bunch of gangsters appreciate your wife more than you do? Meanwhile, Marge was somewhere in the middle of the woods with the bikers. She asked them what they were planning to do with her, and they said she's completely safe.
None of us find you sexually attractive.
None of you? Really?
Don't sound so sad about it. Homer goes on a trip to try and find Marge, but he's not really succeeding at it. But while Homer was failing, Marge was succeeding in getting bikers to change their behavior. She told them there's more to life than boozing and roughhousing, and there's more ways to get a better life than violence.
Well, you don't have to kill anyone, not if you have jobs. And the first step is an eye-catching resume.
I don't think they understand what that means. Marge started by explaining how they should talk at a job interview.
Miss Simpson, I killed my pencil.
Broke. You broke your pencil.
Wow, they're really making some progress here.
Civilized people solve their disputes with words.
But just as she said that, Homer jumped out of the bushes and started beating them up.
Stop! No, you don't understand.
The bikers asked Marge what to do.
She's using violence.
Talk to him. Use your words.
Homer, stop it.
They tell Homer they just want to live peacefully with Marge.
My wife is not a doobie to be passed around.
Homer said he took a sacred vow on his wedding day.
To bogart her forever.
Oh, that's really sweet.
You and me in the circle of death.
No, I just swept the circle of death.
Homer and the biker start fighting and Homer defeats him in the end.
I don't blame you for wanting her back so bad. A woman like that only comes along every couple of miles.
He's got that right. But Marge is so much more than a pretty face who can cook. Marge becomes a successful businesswoman, so Homer starts fearing she'll leave him. Husbands and Knives starts with Marge realizing she's lost her perfect figure, so she decides to join the gym.
Who thought walking could be so difficult?
Well, everyone who goes to the gym. Marge gives up and says she's going to hit the showers.
Marge, you missed a spot.
I wish there was a gym for us regular ladies.
This made Marge think, and she decided to open an all-women gym.
What better one?
The women really enjoy Marge's gym, and Lisa tells her that they have appointments booked up for months, so they'll have to open a second gym. Marge becomes quite a businesswoman, and she takes Homer on all of her business trips.
My wife is paying for everything. Now I know why pimps are so happy.
He is such a big slob sometimes. The guys tell Homer that their wives are also super successful, but they put some doubt in Homer's mind. They tell him that Marge will be leaving him soon. One way. First, she'll get a makeover, then she'll start wearing fancy clothes, then...
Here's how you know she's really about to go. Your wife seems happy.
Homer ran to their room.
God, the prophecy is being fulfilled.
I know it seems weird to you, Homer, because Marge never put on makeup before, but that's because she had nowhere to go. Marge was talking to Homer about her day, but he got distracted by the TV, and she told him she doesn't care that he doesn't care. Homer starts panicking, and he talks to the other husbands. One of them pulls him aside and tells him that he has a lot and got in shape. But Homer knew that'd be too much work, so he decided to get a gastric bypass surgery to make his stomach smaller. That night, he made a big romantic gesture for Marge. Oh, Homer. Better to be fat than have clamps holding your skin. Homer went back to the doctor and he asked him to give him all surgeries possible to make him look good.
Did someone order a super stud?
Oh, he's awful. How could he ever think she would stop loving him? Homer, see? There's nothing that could make Marge leave Homer. Marge tells Homer she wants another baby, and he lies to her and tells her he wants one too. Adventures in baby town collapsing. The mayor decided to fix the hole in the middle of the town by putting the tire fire inside, but Marge's car was still down there, so now they needed to go get a new one.
Are you and your husband here to look for a new car?
No, I'm here to buy one myself.
Uh-huh.
He's gonna regret thinking what he was just thinking. Marge starts noticing that the salesman is trying to rip her off, and she confronts him about it.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna talk to my manager.
This says you are the manager.
Yeah, he regretted that pretty quick. Marge got the car, but something just didn't feel right. At first, she thought it was the new car smell. But once Homer stank it up with food and cigarettes, she still found something wrong with it. They took it to a mechanic who told Homer,
"As a mechanic, I'm not totally qualified to judge mental health."
So you're not totally unqualified.
well, when you put it like that, the man says he thinks the problem is in Marge's head, and that there's a psychological reason why she hates the car. Later, Homer tried to talk to Marge and figure out what the problem is.
Backseat is pretty tight for the kids. I mean, I don't know what we'd do if we had another baby.
So that's what the problem is. Marge says that with this car, they're basically saying no more babies.
The reason I hate this car is I think I want another baby.
And on purpose, baby?
Yes, Homer, those do exist. Marge says that being a mom is who she is, and she's not ready to stop being who she is. Homer says that when your wife looks at you,
Full of hope with an idea that would destroy life as we know it. Just smile, nod, and stalls.
yeah, that strategy can't work forever. Homer says nothing, and he and Marge start trying, but nothing happens for some time. So they decide to pay a visit to Dr. Hibbert.
Take a look at this.
Ooh. X is for eyes.
Well, that's what years at the nuclear power plant will do to you. Marge is very sad about this, so she and Homer go to Moe's where they talk to Moe, Lenny, and Carl about their problem. Moe reminds Homer that he sold his samples years ago to the Shelbyville Sperm Bank, so maybe they have a few samples left. Homer realizes that this is the moment of truth where he must tell Marge how he really feels.
I hope it's twins. How bad could it be?
How bad could it be? Pretty bad, if you ask me. They go on the trip to Shelbyville, and Homer tries to stall the whole day. They visit all sorts of shops, and by the end of the day had passed, so they decide to spend the night at the motel. Marge said that it was nice to spend the day together as a couple, and Homer added,
Yeah, no kids to ruin it.
I thought the whole point of this trip was to have another baby.
well, there's no backing out now. Homer said he doesn't actually want another baby, and Marge asked him how long he's felt this way.
Well, looking back, I guess it started sometime before Bart was born.
Yep, out on the street it is. The next morning, Homer tried to explain his side to Marge, but then he saw a big family at another table and realized that having another baby might not be so bad.
Maybe there's no such thing as too many kids.
There definitely is such a thing when your DNA is in question. They get to the sperm bank and Marge asks Homer if he really wants to do this.
I want to make another Simpson. The table with 4 legs is sturdier than the table with 3.
That is true.
And anything that's half you is guaranteed 50% perfect.
Well, that's just simple math. As Homer was signing the papers, Marge saw a picture board of all the babies the bank helped create.
Homer, how many samples did you sell?
Remember that Corvette I had?
That's a lot of $50 samples he had to give. Marge changed her mind and said that maybe they should wait a little.
Maybe there's enough Homer in the world for now.
Yeah, I agree with her.
You're right, Marge. I don't want to bring more kids into a world full of my kids.
There'd be too many little Homers running around. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel.